tieria kende Ekioge go tieria Ekioge kende.
Great. I want just to welcome you to our today's episode. Today I'm not going to do it in Kisii because I have a guest whom I've just gotten to know through Stella K, and who is a scriptwriter, who is a director, and who's doing a lot in the film industry. And because of the CPC, because of the creative industry in this country, we want just to look at what is the future of film industry in this country. And I'm talking to someone who's been on the ground, who is doing some work, who has directed, who has edited, and they've done quite a number of movies. I keep on getting challenged with their name. It's
My name is Dancurf. Yeah.
Dancurf. Yes. Tell us more about yourself.
So my name is Dancurf Brown. I'm a filmmaker, film director, writer, screenwriter. I've been in the film industry for a minute now. I run a production company called Safari Media. 10 years now,
Yeah.
I guess. Yeah.
Yeah.
So we run a production company called Safari Media. Safari Media is a Pan-African film production company whose focus is taking the Pan-African story to the global platform. So we have different movies showcasing across the globe on different platforms like Netflix, Amazon, Tubi, and of course other festivals across the world. Yeah.
Just take us a little bit back. How did you get into the film industry?
I've always been interested in making movies since I was young. I was fascinated by the whole moving picture. And so growing up, I knew right on that I wanted to be the person that brings stories to people. And so I come from a country where the industry is well vibrant and grown, but because I've been here most of my life, I had to carve a path for myself because the industry is not as structured here. And so you have to find a way to create your own table because nobody is inviting you to the table. And over the past decade, we've been working and looking for ways of elevating the African story and platforming it to a global perspective, and that is what we have exactly done through Safari Media. We've had opportunities to work with people across the globe, very talented human beings, and through that experience and network, we've been able to convert a rather laid-back platform into a vibrant global elevation. And that is why, as my colleague Stella said, we decided to take a Kisii movie to the global stage.
Now, tell me about something you said that in your country. So does it mean that you don't come from Kenya?
I come from Kenya. I'm an African. I come from partially South African, but mostly I've been in Kenya most of my life. And so I tend to compare the two industries because they are vibrant a bunch, but then the South African industry is of course a bit more elevated in terms of structure, in terms of opportunities and network. Yeah.
Tell me about South Africa. What is so unique with the way, because I remember among the movies that we've watched is Sarafina and quite a number of them, but what makes South Africa so unique when it comes to the film industry?
Actually, there's nothing unique about South Africa. It's just a matter of structure and footing, which we lack here, because there are more opportunities in South Africa because the industry is anchored on structural grounds that enable it to tap opportunities for their people. We've had the longest fight in this country on the film policy, which is like the government structure that will help the industry grow. But then we don't have a film policy several years down the line, and we're still fighting. Without such legal structures, it's very hard for anybody who wants to do film business to engage with the Kenyan film industry because it's not anchored properly in legal terms, and so it's become an impediment to growth. And that is because when you want your industry to grow, you want to set it up in a way that people who are coming from elsewhere have an in a way they can collaborate and work with you. And that is what has helped South Africa a great deal, because theirs is well structured and well anchored. And so it gives them the leeway to tap opportunities from the global stage into their country.
I'd like just to get something from you, because you're talking about you do not have the structures, but I think probably I need you to explain. What do you mean that we do not have the structures? Because we have the Kenya Film Commission, and then of course we have the classification board, classification board, and then we have the DFS, whereby you can be able to get the licenses. So probably you want to tell me that they are not enough just to help us produce and have systems that can be able to support us?
It's not being enough or lack of it thereof. It's a matter of, first of all, we don't have an industry in this country. We have more of a sector. You see, the fact that we are crumbled up in, we have been tossed from the sports ministry to the cultural ministry. We don't even know where we belong as a film industry. We are in between.
It keeps on changing,
yes.
Because I remember at some point it's under culture, at some point it's under communication,
under youth.
At some point.
So it means we are not even important in the face of the government in terms of anchorage, because we would have been given our own ministry that helps build the industry and give it a face. But the fact that a lot of attention has not been given to the film space, it means that we have a long way to go in terms of recognition, in terms of anchorage, in terms of legal standing that will help us get ground for us to grow. You've mentioned of the film commission, the film classification board. Those are the biggest enemies to this industry, and I'm boldly saying so because I'm a victim of their bureaucracy. I'll tell you for a fact. A few years ago, we got an opportunity to do a film with some Canadian network. And what the Canadian network needed was just an introductory letter stating that Safari Media is a duly registered company in this country that operates on legal terms, so that they could give us funding to the tune of about 50 million Kenyan shillings. We didn't get it. We lost the deal simply because I couldn't get a letter from
Could it be that also the government also is trying to protect, because sometimes we've had quite a number of institutions and even organizations from Canada and even other countries, and of course there are people who have a given agenda, so people can give in money, but there is the aspect of what they want to bring in.
No.
Probably they felt like we are talking about LGBTQ, a number of such kind of issues. Could it be that is the reason as to why?
Government has the machinery to know when there is fraudulent activity or business going on about. And ours was a very straightforward case. It was a government agency in Canada that was trying to fund a project because we had written proposals and gotten ground to get funding. And because they were government, that is why they wanted legitimate grounds to support us, and that is why they were asking for government introduction.
Did you get to see
if they were fraudulent operators, then they wouldn't have wanted even to care that we are.
What did they tell you?
Who?
The government.
The Kenya Film Commission. Yes. They took me round. The CEO. I went, saw them in person, and we sat down and we told them everything. We have correspondence on email that states exactly what we need, and we didn't want even any financial support from them. We just needed introduction from them, but we didn't. Why? Because they didn't get kickback from us. We wouldn't.
Oh, so did they make it clear that they wanted some money?
You don't need to be told you want some money in this country. You'll know when someone wants some money, if you're Kenyan enough. You don't need to be told, send me some money.
So what do we need to do as a country? Because,
what we need to do, and
because we are talking about CPC, we are talking about, we want just to allow people into the creative parts. What are we supposed to do so that we can be able to also get to earn from this?
I don't know how liberal you are on this podcast, but I'm a very liberal thinker. What I would advise in a normal situation, I wouldn't advise here because I don't want to put off your viewers. But then I would tell people to forget about the traditional TV and traditional media platforms and create their own avenues. Because the internet came to save us. It's like a savior. It's Jesus, in quotes, for the creative sector. And what the internet has done, it has taken, for lack of a better example, it has taken Beyonce's fans and brought them onto your phone and made them your fans if you care. So, for example, our musicians, they keep crying for that they don't have access to support, financial support. You don't need it anymore. You need your phone and the internet. Bundles, very few coins, 20 bob, 50 bob, 100 bob. You have enough internet for you to do the magic that Americans and everybody else has been doing for years now. So that is what the liberal, what is it called, democratization of the art space. That is what the internet has done. And that is why we don't care much for TV anymore. We've not had any of our projects being shown on local TV. Nobody knows us in this country, but everybody else in the world knows our name. If you put out Safari Media out there, Dancurf Brown, people know me, but they don't know my face in this country. Why? Because we focus on putting out the work and not the face. Our focus is in elevating the Kenyan creative space so that people can know that there is talent in this part of the globe. And so what the internet has done, it has taken the barriers that were there, the cartels, and shoved them off. It's for you now. It's you and the audience. If you can put your phone before you and convince the audience that you are as good as Kevin Hart, they will care because it's you and them.
So, Dancurf, just tell us, what is the future of... not even the future. Just talk about the other day, the president was trying to talk to, they went to the United States of America, some studios in the United States, and then of course trying to talk to Meta to have the Facebook monetized in this country. What opportunities do we have when we talk about the free space that we've gotten because of the internet and because of YouTube and such? What can people be able to do, those who are creative, so that they can be able to earn a living?
With the advent of the internet, we are able to do magic. We are able to do a lot to self-sustain as a creative people because opportunities have arisen as a result of the digital revolution that has come. And what it takes is for the young people to have the skills that are needed for them to anchor themselves and be ready for the market that has opened up with tools like AI and the whole digital spectrum. What I think ideally, a lot of young people are blind to the opportunities that are there because we are used to, for lack of a better example, of the begging aspect of we need jobs, and we are not teaching people to create jobs instead. Because we are in an economy that is anchored on, we need other people to create opportunities for us so that we can get those opportunities and not create the opportunities ourselves. That is why it's very shameful, for example, for a whole government to try to go to other countries to look for jobs and send our own people to those countries instead of creating those opportunities within this country for us to absorb those opportunities, because those countries that we are trying to send people to have their own people to create opportunities for. And if we send our own guys there, it means they are either going to be exploited, they're not going to get the best of terms in terms of employment opportunities. And so we are creating modern day slaves instead of creating thinkers who are well anchored to create opportunities for themselves and their peers. And so I think young people need to be open to the idea that nobody's coming to save us. We are our own saviors, and we need to create what we want for ourselves. And that is why, in our own right, we try to open up opportunities by creating projects that allow us to give opportunities to other young people, and also use our grounds to impact other people, like what Stella said. Next year we have collaborated with the institutions of higher learning, so that we can use the films that we create first to sensitize and create awareness on certain life issues like cybersecurity. But beyond that, we are using that as an avenue to impact young people who are in these institutions, who are intending to join the industry after school, by giving them opportunities to learn the skills, become crew within our movies, become actors within our movies, so that we can open up the space. Because what is lacking is the skilled labor, not the opportunities. The opportunities are there, but then we are not a vibrant industry because we don't have the numbers as other countries like South Africa, like Nigeria, who have created a self-sustainable industry because they have a skilled labor where people are well anchored in terms of production skills, and also they have made their industry vibrant enough for their own people to care about it. You see, a lot of times we say Kenyans don't support local productions. It's not that they don't, it's we have not given them reason to, because Kenyans are watching other big productions out there. When someone switches off Inspector Mwala, what do they watch? They watch Game of Thrones, they watch all these big productions out there. So what they subconsciously do is compare that with what we have. And most of the time we fall short. So if I'm not getting the same adrenaline I'm getting when I'm watching Game of Thrones, I'll not want to care for a Kenyan production. So
you're talking about skills, you're talking about we find ways of developing them. Probably I want just to listen, I want just to hear from you. Did you train in this, or you are into this because it's something that is inborn talent that you were able to do the scripting and such? I
studied fine art and film in university, but then you see university can only give you so much. Beyond the paperwork of me having a degree at the archives of my wardrobes, I had to hit the streets and learn the skill, like handle camera. There's no film school, I'm sorry to say, there's no film school in this country that teaches proper film. A lot of it is theory. You learn the history of film, and a lot of it's the problem that we've had with the education system in this country from way back, the whole 844 mess. But then once you've studied the theory of things, you need to get a hands-on experience in terms of now doing what you've learned and putting it into practice so that you can turn it into value. And that is what we've done. I've never been employed a day in my life before. Once I finished school, I got into the whole spectrum of how do I make my own films now? How do I put what I've learned into practice and make it valuable? And that is what we've been doing for the last
Have you tried to probably pass around the Kenyan Institute of Mass Communication, the film department there?
Yes, I've had a chance to interact with some of students from the Kenya Institute of Film Mass Communication. We've actually given internship for a couple of students from there to in our production company. So we've interacted a lot with a lot of students who study film in film schools across the country and given them opportunities to learn. But most of the challenges that we face when we have such encounters with such students is they come as green as they went to school. So it shows that there is a gap in terms of what is being taught in school and what the industry actually needs.
I think I'll recommend that probably you can have some time and maybe you go to specifically the film department. You'll be able to see a lot. They have studios, productions are done every day. In fact, the cameramen you are looking at around here, they are students of, they are former students. All my team, all my crew, you'll be able to see amazing things. They have a number of productions. You'll find they'll be so through. There is no theory there. In fact, you'll discover people have cameras all over the building. I was a student there, and I'm teaching there. You'll be able to have a totally different feel. Or now, probably the only challenge that we have is the government has not created room for people to invest in this, because you can't invest with big cameras and such, and then we do not have a culture of people watching. The government is not giving people room just to come. Like now, when you add a partnership with another organization or maybe another entity, I think that is where the challenge is. But now let's just talk about, do you think there is some bit of disruption when we talk about film industry, AI, and the way things are happening? Do you think that there's some changes that are going to take place in the film industry? And how do we adjust?
There's already change taking place. It's not a tomorrow thing.
Yeah.
It's already happening. A lot of people are already, there's a shift that has already happened in terms of how we do film and how we produce films. It's a matter of now this part of the globe to embrace that, because I think we are in that space where we believe AI is still almost getting here. It's here. And it's changing the course of things. And a lot of what people are doing now is influenced by AI and how it has inspired new ways of doing things. And we are at Safari Media, we have fully embraced it. We are actually in the process of, currently we are working on a project that is fully AI CGI anchored with very minimal on location shooting. And so that tells you that the future is already here, and it's a matter of time before things totally engulf, the AI engulfs the entire industry. And what now I would want to beseech young people to do is to inculcate in them the skill of using AI in their production. A lot of young people are using it, but then it's more of how can I put it, a fun thing to do, more than a tool to help them become better. We are using it more of a meme, like in a meme way, instead of using it to actually better our skill and make our stories better. And so it's high time that people really started taking AI as a game changer that will help elevate their work to a global stature.
I'd like just to get your understanding, and also how do you look at, like now we are so used to going to locations, and then like now the family portrait, I've loved the locations, and then also there is this bit of the AI, and then you can be able to walk around with pictures and such. Of course, when the actual location, there is a test, there is a way you can be able to connect. And of course, with the AI, you can be able to do anything. You can be able to, do you think that we are likely to lose the original test of how we loved just to go to locations and even have the actual feel compared to the way, you know, with the AI, you can change everything, you can do everything to a point that it can make us a bit lazy, and also the production, you know, there is that aspect of location and being realistic and feeling that you're watching something, or maybe you're acting or you're doing something. Do you think that there's a lot of, it looks more plastic and looks more like, probably with the time you might feel like you do not have that taste. It's like when we eat original kuku kienyeji, and then when you're eating these other ones with
broilers.
Yeah, you can do them, and then at some point you feel like, I don't think there is anything that I am.
I don't think we are, you see, what AI has come to do is make work easier. It's not coming to replace storytellers or creative minds as such, because one, AI can't work on its own. It's anchored on data of brains of what people have done over time. And so AI is for those people who are still very deep thinkers, who are willing to go to certain depths that the normal tools can't go, but then they use AI as an enabler to create those imaginary worlds that traditionally we wouldn't create. For example, I mean, CGI, for instance, has existed for so many years, and Hollywood has been doing make-believe movies for the longest time, but we still loved them, and we still felt that they touched a certain soul within us. What AI has come to do is make those make-believe situations even better, but in a lesser and easier, cheaper way. So it's not replacing humans in any way. It's only going to enable what humans can do and how farther they can go if they embrace the tool and use it collaboratively. Of course, storytellers will remain being storytellers. We will still write scripts, but then AI will make us big dreamers. Like, we've always wanted to do what Hollywood has been doing. Would want to create a Marvel movie in Kisii or in Nairobi, in Rongai, in wherever. But we couldn't because, one, it was very costly, it was very time consuming, and it was far beyond reach on this part of the globe. But what AI has done, it has brought that to our doorstep. And what we can do is now, how do we use it to make our films and stories better? Because we've been limited before, limited of resources, limited of manpower, limited of skill. But now that it's here and it's very reachable, how do we use it and make our stories as good as those we've been aspiring to be a part of? That is what I think AI has come to do. It has not come to take away jobs. It has not come to fight anybody. It has come to enable thinkers.
Can we talk about the film genres? I don't know which genre of film do you produce, because we want also to look at how can Kenyans explore different. We have bioepic, we have thrillers, we have science fiction, we have comedy, we have romantic movies and such. To some extent, as Kenyans, we have a specific, we are more into
Dramas.
drama, and then that is it.
Yeah,
do we have opportunities that we can be able to, with AI, that we can be able to do?
It's a self-limiting.
Variety.
It's a self-limiting thing we've been doing for ourselves. For instance, we've done films of all genres. Our very first film that went to Netflix was an action thriller. The film, the family portrait is, of course, a drama, but has some CGI elements in it. The current film that we are working on, what is it called? Terrorist, is an action thriller. The film that we're talking about on climate action is a science fiction purely. So it's not, we don't have a limiting factor when it comes to story. I believe genres are just media that help us channel our stories, and you can use any genre to tell your story for as long as you understand the dynamics and principles of accessing or of channeling your story through that media. But I think Kenyans have been using drama as a genre for a long time because it's a safer landing. It's an easier way out, and that is what for the longest time has been a barrier to us growing the industry, because we are very linear. We are very one-sided. And so it kills the whole vibe of someone who wants variety, someone who wants to explore stories from different perspectives. And so I believe the advent of AI as a tool will enable us shift from that linear perspective of storytelling to a more diverse and vibrant approach when it comes to exploring African stories.
Talk about the stories that you've done. You probably can be able to list the movies you've done, and how can someone get to watch them?
We have quite a portfolio when it comes to films. We have one film that is currently running on Netflix. It's called Villains in the Metropolis. You can log on into Netflix if you have an account, and you will be able to watch it. It's been there since 2002. I think it should be expiring in 1 year or 2 years, or maybe probably end of next year. So you are able to access it. It has big stars, Sarah Hassan. It has Raymond Ofula, one of the veteran actors in this country. Bilal Maura, also a very prolific actor. We have Family Portrait now has just gotten onto Netflix a month ago. It's not Netflix, sorry, Amazon. You can log on Amazon Prime. Maybe Stella can share a link of how you can access that account. We have another one of two of our films. There's one called Prayer for the Departed. Prayer for the Departed is actually a film that is based on a true story. It's the story of a young girl who did an abortion. She was raped and she did an abortion because she got pregnant, and she did a backstreet abortion and it got complicated, and so she died, and the mother sued the government because she thought had abortion been legal, then her baby shouldn't have died. And that is how abortion was partially allowed in this country. So they appealed the whole legal ground of abortion being illegal. And so we did a story on that we did a movie on that particular story. It's now showing on Tubi. American streaming platform. So if you want to watch that story, you can access it on Tubi. We have another of our stories called Poker, which is a gender-based violence story, awareness story, also on Tubi in the US. We have another series called Tom, Dick and Harry, which is a very exciting comedy. I heard you talk about comedy. It is a comedy story. It's actually free on YouTube. You can watch the whole 10 episodes on YouTube on our channel on Safari Media K on YouTube. The film is the series also showing on Tubi in the US. So we have other films that are showing across different airlines. We have Family Prayer for the Departed is showing across KQ flights. In flight, if you watch the screens, you will see the movie there. So we have the movies in different platforms and they're accessible. It's just that you need to look for these stories and access them. But as Stella said, we also have the screenings that we do across cinemas. Like in December 20th, we are showing the two films, Terrorists and Family Portrait, in Kisii at the Cultural Hall in partnership with the county government, the Department of Culture. So that is another avenue through which maybe guys can come and get to watch the films.
Even as we get to wind up because of time, probably you can be able to tell us 3 things that anybody who wants just to be an independent producer that they have to look into so that they can be able to do their productions without necessarily looking for opportunities, looking for the government, looking for jobs, that they can be able to start. Probably for the startups, those who have the bit of training and they want just to be independent producers. 3 things.
One is they need to stop hoping and get working. You have a phone, you have friends who can act, start there. Your friends, your phone, your little mic, now you can access mics very cheaply in the market. Start there, because we believe that film has to be made through big cameras, big machines, no. We've had movies winning Oscars and they were shot on a phone. That is where we start. The tools that we have now are well enabled to help us tell stories in the best way, easiest way, cheapest way possible. Show that film to your family. Those are your very first viewers. Those are the very first critics who will tell you, what if you change here? Then tomorrow, the next time you do another and another, you'll become better. We learn film by doing film. We don't learn film by sitting and hoping and wishing someone will come give us money. Nobody's coming to give you money. We've sold our belongings to make films. Most of the time, the money might not come back. But then if you're in it for the long haul, if you're in it passionately, you will know when it will. The heart will tell you this is right, this story will fly. And we have always had stories fly. By the time we were doing a Kisii movie, we went down to Kisii and told those guys, we want to take this movie globally. They didn't believe us, most of them, and I'll tell you that because they didn't even push it. She told you we put up a whole cinema, set up a whole screening for about 2 million shillings. Nobody showed up. But then we didn't lose hope, because our focus is in telling human stories, and that is what I tell people every other day. You can tell your movie in the Luo, you can tell your movie in Gusii language. The language doesn't determine the success of the film. The language is just a tool. It's the same way Yoruba films are flying all over globally. It's the same way West Africa has taken Pidgin through music like Davido and Wizkid to the globe. It's the biggest sound globally, yet they're singing in their own tribe, local language. So language is not a barrier. Language is actually an advantage. It's an identity. If we embrace that identity and use it, then it works for us. So I tell people, you can create magic in whatever little way that you have, and take that magic and share it with the world. We are in that space and time right now where everything is possible. So first, believe in yourself. Second, do the work, put in the work, believe in yourself. It's a belief system. By the time we write a script, we are not sure whether people will click. I'll tell you my story. I can't gunpoint you to love it. I'll believe and hope that you will feel something for it deep down. That is our anchorage. We tell stories and believe that because they're human stories, someone somewhere in the world will believe and see themselves in those stories. And that is what has enabled us to fly. Most of the time people ask, where do you get these networks? How are you able to take stories from a small studio like Safari Media and take it to the globe? It's because we believe in our ability to touch a soul through stories. And we have always wanted to tell magic through stories, and that is the belief system that we want to share with the world.
How can people get to reach you? Do you have social media handles?
Yes, you can reach us through social media, on Instagram, Safari Media, on TikTok, Safari Media, on YouTube, Safari Media KE. Personally, you can reach me on all social media platforms, Dancurf Brown. Follow us on Instagram, follow us on Twitter, follow us on Facebook and TikTok. DM us. We are open to collaborations. I heard you say you want to do a kissy comedy. We are open to collaborating with people who have the like-minded belief systems like us. So if you're out there and you have a story and you believe it's something that can fly given opportunity, we are open. Come, let's sit down, let's see how to create magic together.
Thank you so much. Dancurf, I really want just to appreciate. Thank you so much. I think this is the take home. That you don't just keep on saying, oh, I want just to study, I need some support, give me some money, I need a camera or such. You have a phone, you need to start.
True.
And then from there, you keep on developing yourself, you keep on evolving and trying to get more the equipment, but still start with that phone, because you have the space. I remember those years were in college, there was no way you can be able to show your production. Sure. Because you have to go to the media house. But now you have the space that you can be able to show the world what you can be able to do. Thank you so much for following us. Until next time, have a great day. My name is Sorobi Rastas. I really want just to appreciate. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
Ekioge. 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 Kenyan. Ekioge go tiria, Ekioge Kenyan.